Ilia Topuria might be turning into the John Jones 2.0 of the UFC. I don't know, man. Everyone's been saying that he's ducking Arman Tsarukyan, so let's get into it. So the real question right now is, does Arman Tsarukyan deserve a title shot? Now, if we're going strictly off of rankings, which the UFC never really does anymore, he deserves it. There's no way around it. He's the #1 contender. He's been the #1 contender for about a year and a half. Obviously, he was scheduled to fight Islam Makhachev for the title, but then pulled out because he got too excited with Nina drama. It was a rough day for all the single men because of you, Arman. And since then, he's turned down a fight against Gamrot, and who was the other person? Asking my producer. Oh, he was the backup fighter for Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. At this point, I think we all know how Dana White tends to react in these situations, and we just know his personality. If you do him wrong, especially in such a high stakes moment, bro, there's no amount of glazing that's going to get you back on his good side. Especially for someone like Arman Tsarukyan. We've seen Dana White have beefs with people like Nate Diaz in the past, but because Nate Diaz brought numbers and money to the company, it's kind of water under the bridge, whereas someone like Arman Tsarukyan, who's not really a big draw, he's a good fighter, doesn't really bring in the numbers. So while I think rankings wise he deserves a title shot, he's been inactive for so long at this point that it's kind of getting annoying. I don't know what's going on in the lightweight division. Justin Gaethje doesn't want to fight anyone besides Daniel Cormier on the golf course. Paddy Pimlet's probably over 200 pounds right now. Charles Oliveira is in his sad boy emo era since getting knocked out, just making sad tweets on X. And then Dan Hooker, my boy, but I gotta say, you've been injured for the past 15 years. No one wants to fight each other, man. So is Ilia Topuria ducking Arman? I think half yes, half no. I think when you look at the stylistic matchups in the top 5, I believe that Arman Tsarukyan is the toughest matchup for Ilia Topuria. And I think Topuria knows that, but I don't believe he's scared. You don't get to that championship level by being scared of fighting people. I think Topuria just sees the risk versus reward. He sees other people like Paddy Pimlet, who's an easier stylistic matchup for him, and will make him 10 times the amount of money than someone like Arman Tsarukyan would in a fight. So when you look at those two options, fight Arman Tsarukyan with less money and have a higher chance of losing the belt, or fight someone like Paddy Pimlet, who's going to skyrocket your bank account and you have a better chance at winning. It's kind of a no-brainer from his perspective, so I fully understand why Topuria is kind of just brushing Arman off to the side. I would too. If I saw this dude eating caviar and caressing a duck on my timeline, I'd be like, bro, I'm never fighting you. I do think it's smart what Arman is doing though. He's starting to talk a little bit of trash towards Topuria, trying to rally for this fight because like I said, he's not really a big draw, but I've seen a lot more discussion, especially from high-profile people in this community like Daniel Cormier, Michael Bisping, both rallying for Arman to get the next title shot. That's 100% what he needs, because we saw Paddy Pimlet face off with Ilia Topuria, and if I'm being completely honest, I know this is contradictory to what I said in one of my previous videos. I think Paddy Pimlet should fight for the title next. Strictly from a business perspective, if I'm Dana White, I look at someone like Ilia Topuria as the current cash cow of the UFC, and the last thing you want to do is give him a risky matchup against someone like Arman Tsarukyan, especially if it's not going to draw the numbers. If I had the same level of beef as a Conor and Khabib type of matchup, then that risk would be worth it. So if I'm the UFC, I make Paddy Pimlet versus Ilia Topuria towards the end of this year for the next title fight, and then I make Justin Gaethje versus Arman Tsarukyan for the #1 contender, and then assuming that Ilia beats Paddy Pimlet, I say you make him fight the winner of Justin versus Arman, and then you move Topuria up to welterweight to go fight Islam Makhachev. For me, that's the perfect lightweight reign for Ilia Topuria. I think you want to make the most high-profile fights for him while he's still in his prime. And let's be honest, Islam Makhachev is not going to be here forever. He's got a farm to attend to in Dagestan. I think Ilia fighting Paddy and then fighting the winner of Justin and Arman could all be done realistically by the end of next year. And then early 2027 or even at the end of 2026, you do Islam versus Ilia. I think if Topuria beats Arman Tsarukyan, it will even just make that Islam fight so much bigger, because there's a lot of question marks around how Ilia Topuria will do against one of those Dagestani Russian wrestlers. To be honest, I think that Ilia would chin Arman, but that's just me. I find it really interesting. I feel like in the past week or two, the perspective that the fans have of Ilia Topuria is starting to change a little bit, especially after the whole Netanyahu podcast thing. I love the Nelk boys, but what the hell was that? So I don't think Ilia Topuria is ducking Arman Tsarukyan because he's scared. I think he's purposely avoiding him because he's just not the most profitable matchup. I can't blame him. I would rather fight Paddy Pimlet than Arman Tsarukyan. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Is Ilia Topuria ducking Arman Tsarukyan? Make sure you guys do drop a like on this video. Make sure to subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.